WA members and organizations such as Concerned Citizens, Barrett Township, and Trout Unlimited, the Brodhead Watershed Association's Streamwatch program has been developing since 1990. The parameters included in the study were identified with the assistance of Monroe County Planning Commission, East Stroudsburg University's Biology Department. Procedures were standardized under the direction of Monroe County Cooperative Extension Office and DEP, Water Bureau of Quality. The focus of our Streamwatch program has been to foster stewardship of local streams by volunteers and develop a long-term baseline data on water quality in the watershed. The Streamwatch program is dependent upon volunteer commitment. A study of this kind would be financially impossible if professional services were contracted. Given reliable equipment, informative training sessions, and standardized procedures, volunteers have proven to be a viable means of stream monitoring. Research has shown that the best way to determine the health and condition of a stream is to repeatedly sample a variety of sites on a regular basis. This information must be compiled and regularly analyzed to know any changes. Major changes may be indicative of problems and would serve as a reason to notify proper officials for closer inspection. So what does water quality mean to us? Well, water supplies with ratings falling in the good or excellent range would support a high diversity of aquatic life. In addition, the water would be suitable for all forms of recreation, including those involving direct contact with the water. Water supplies achieving only an average rating generally have less diversity of aquatic organisms and frequently have increased algae growth. Water supplies falling in the fair range are only able to support a low diversity of aquatic life and are probably experiencing problems with pollution. Water supplies that fall in the poor category may only be able to support a limited number of aquatic life forms, and it is expected that they would have abundant quality problems. Water supply with a poor quality rating would not normally be considered acceptable for activities involving direct contact with water, such as swimming. Fortunately for us, our EB rating, which is exceptional value, that's what we are rated, and we want to keep it that way. I have a picture of each of the sub-watersheds. So here's the McMichael site. There's a large variety of streams and aquatic life in this area. So if you live around any of these sites on this map, then you would probably be given one of the little active red dots are active sites. But we have sites all over. These maps, some of these maps were updated by the Monroe County Planning Commission last September. This is one of them. Here's the Marshalls Creek sub-watershed. Wendy Lichty is the team leader for Marshalls Creek watershed. And there are approximately 5 different streams with 15 testing sites on it. Edie Stevens is the team leader for the Pocono Creek watershed. Consists of about 10 different runs, creeks, and it has 45 different testing sites on it. You can see if you're from this area. This is our next watershed, Lower Brodhead Watershed, and Wendy Lichty is the team leader of the Lower Brodhead Watershed, and it has approximately 29 testing sites. Betty Featherman is the team leader for the Upper Brodhead streams in this watershed. There are approximately 10 to 12 different streams with 27 testing sites. Coolbaugh, Barrett, Price, that kind of thing up there from that area. Edie Stevens is also team leader for the Paradise Creek watershed, and it has approximately 30 testing sites. That's Mount Pocono Borough, Paradise Township, that area. Ann Featherman is currently the team leader of the Cherry Creek testing site, and it has approximately 13, and that's part Hamilton and Stroud Township. Oh, I forgot to mention Kathy Folio is the team leader of the McMichaels testing site. Here's a sample of some of the sites that we do. This is just one at Cherry Creek, and you can see where the arrow's pointing. You just walk in there and get your water samples. Here we have two gentlemen that collect water, and these are just different times of the year. We have safety first. Always test with someone else along. Samples are collected from your Water Watcher stream site one time per month. It's recommended that you try to test the same time of day and around the same time of month so that the testing procedures are completed with as much consistency as possible to be able to get accurate test results. So, for example, I test around the 15th of each month, around 9 or 10 a.m. whenever I get out there. These are, in fact, that's my husband getting some of the water on the right-hand side. Okay. Streamwatch Procedural Manual. Inside, this is your packet that you would receive after you fill out one of our Streamwatch volunteer registration forms. Then we get a testing site, and you'll meet with your team leader, and you'll get one of these procedural manuals. Inside, you'll have BWA brochure and ID cards, data and temperature testing sheets. The front page, an intro to the program, kind of explains what we're doing here today. Volunteer and team leader roles, committees and coordinator data program mechanics, parameters and red flag sheets, your test site information and how to test at your site, record keeping and waste handling information, hints for improving Streamwatch testing procedures, how to clean your equipment, definitions and importance of parameters for some of the vocabulary. We have a pH and water temperature kit, chemical packet care procedures, points of water testing procedures, key points of the test, and who to call if something is happening in your water. So inside this manual, it has pretty much everything you need to know. Very explicit, direct procedures on doing the 3 types of chemical tests. These are items in my testing kit, and all the kits have similar items: Dawn dish detergent, water collecting jars, pH, orthophosphate, and nitrate test kits, a thermometer, a jar to put hazardous waste from the nitrate kit. That's only performed one time in your 4-month data sheet, along with I take my cell phone and I use that for times, outside temperatures. I also use my cell phone to convert degrees to Celsius. And my temperature, I use a temperature gun, so I don't have to stand there and hold the thermometer in the water, but you can have a thermometer or a temperature test gun. Okay, here's a sample of the phosphate. Phosphorus is another important plant nutrient found in fertilizer and sewage. Phosphorus is less soluble in water than nitrate. It clings to soil particles and reaches streams with sediment that washes off the land. So this is why we test for phosphate. Small amounts can trigger excessive aquatic plant and algae growth. Phosphorus is often considered a factor which limits plants and animal production in freshwater ecosystems. It's a good indicator of stream degradation. Orthophosphate, the form of phosphorus measured by BWA stream watchers. And it should be about less than 1 milligram when you do your test, which all of that is in your kit. We also have a pH test. A pH is a substance. It is the measure of acidity or alkalinity, just as a degree is a measure of temperature. pH is a measurement of the ratio of acid to base of solution. pH is the effective acidity or alkalinity of a solution. pH is measured on a scale of 0 to 14 with a pH of 7 as a neutral point. Values below 7 are considered acidic, those above are alkaline. pH monitoring and control are critical to the continuation and quality of all plant and animal life. The pH of a body of water is affected by its age and by the chemicals dumped into it by communities and industries. Most streams in the Pocono region are naturally acidic due to the lack of limestone in our bedrock geology, the abundance of wetlands and bogs, and decomposition of hemlock and pine. As organic substances decay, carbon dioxide forms and combines with water to produce a weak acid called carbonic acid. The creeks I usually test get a pH of anywhere between 6.2 and 6.6. That's my average. The third test is nitrates. Nitrates are primary plant nutrients which dissolve easily in water and are carried off the land in rain and snowmelt. Nitrates also dissolve in the water that travels underground, raising nitrate levels in groundwater that eventually flows into streams. Levels in the Pocono streams are normally low. However, man's activities can raise concentrations. For example, treated sewage flow may contain high levels of nitrate. Surface runoff from lawn chemicals and cropland receiving high applications of fertilizer can also elevate nitrate concentration in streams. High nitrate levels, particularly in lakes and ponds, can cause rapid growth of algae, known as algae blooms. The subsequent die-off of algae will consume oxygen in the water and can cause fish kills. So it's important to do the nitrate test also. I go and collect my water at the stream and then I bring it back home just like these individuals are doing. And you perform the tests in your kitchen or wherever it's convenient. We collect the data needed at the site and bring the water samples home to perform the test. There are directions for both on-site or at home in the manual. We want consistent results, but you have to be flexible with your schedule, and the testing is set up for that. Testing at home should take approximately 30 to 50 minutes from start to cleanup while you're testing one stream. Okay, then collecting data. Data sheets are there. You write the data neatly, the test results on the data collection form. You can also put any comments in the comments section. After 4 months of data entry, you then mail or email your form to your team leader, who then sends it on to the BWA office where staff and volunteers enter the data on an Excel spreadsheet so the data can then be manipulated or graphed to show results of the testing. This is what the data sheet looks like. We have, it's a little blurry on this slide, sorry, but your data sheet will have, you'll be able to see it clearly. Stream name and test site numbers. The date and time of the test samples are recorded. The current weather outside and the temperatures outside, as well as the last time it rained. Water temperature is important. Stable temperatures are critical to the survival, health, and well-being of fish and other aquatic life. It's important that you're not testing, like today happens to be the hurricane coming, as you might be able to hear the rain in the background. You don't test when you have a lot of rain. Like tomorrow won't even be a good day to test. Everything will be high, everything will be muddy and worked up. You want to try, so if your test date was set for today or tomorrow, it's fine if it's a couple days before or after. Data from chemical tests, as well as color of water, odor of water, and water levels are also recorded. Then the Streamwatch committee reviews the data. If there are any problems or issues, they are reported to the correct municipality. unless, of course, you have something that happens when you're testing and you need to get a hold of your team leader right away. If that happens, something is a little abnormal, not what it should be, you perform the test again. You have to make sure that you didn't, let your test sample sit in the car, that it's, warmed up, or that it's too cold. Those kinds of things. You want to double check yourself before you think there may be a problem. Okay, COVID-19 care. Do not sample alone, but you need to take someone along with you. Anything can happen while you're down by the edge of a creek. Even, other different bee stings or anything. So you make sure that at least if you do go by yourself, that someone knows exactly where you are, about what time you'll be coming home. That could be saved too. But I take along my mom. You have your husband or wife or a friend that you kind of are around during this COVID time. It's the same thing. So since you'll be cleaning your kits and possibly sharing the kit, remember, COVID does not remain active on the surface for more than 2 days. So the outside of the kit, if you're sharing it, someone drops it off at your house, you can just spray it with some of your disinfectant spray, bring it in the house. You could let it sit there for 2 days if you think it's not safe, and everything should be fine. Everything inside the kit will have been cleaned and washed thoroughly. And don't forget, if you need to wear your face mask, if you're in an area, typically you'll be driving in your car, getting the sample, you'll be with just your other person, you probably won't even need to wear a face mask. Okay, red flags included are detailed instructions of who to contact in case of some sort of illegal activity along the stream, such as dumping, filling in wetlands, or cutting trees. Also changes in water, such as soil erosion, storm water entering a stream, a fish kill, green algae growth, color, smell, that's abnormal. There's a large amount of foam in your water. So you'll have a card exactly who to call, where to report these issues. Now you don't want to address someone right if you're there and someone's doing something. Do your test and leave. That's not your job to be in charge of somebody else what they're doing. But you do have information to report it. Also, you can call your team leader with any types of problems or questions. Okay, these are the stream leaders. So if you fill out your, it's online, Streamwatch volunteer registration form, then one of us will be calling you and setting up a time to meet with you. So if you choose to become a stream watcher, please contact the Watershed office with your information and fill this form out. We are a volunteer nonprofit organization, so please become a member. That's how we purchase different things that we need to keep an eye on the streams. The last page of the slideshow is the Watershed web link, the phone number, mailing address, and then our physical address. I'm not sure if I can click on this, if it will open up. Let's give it a try. I think you should be able to see it, or maybe it won't. Okay. I'm not sure if this shared or not. If it didn't, I'm sorry, but it opened up on my screen. So this is our whole web page. It's filled with information. So please, contact that on that website. Okay, that is the end of our video. Thank you for watching.